time here tonight.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to start by giving some information about myself, and I will ask you some questions. So my name is Connor Smith. I'm a high school / concurrent student at Kellyville High School, and my plans after high school are to go on and start my own business, specifically a gym. I understand you are an entrepreneur and an owner of multiple businesses. So first and foremost, what is it exactly that you do, and what type of business do you own?
So I own a construction business. It's a scaffolding business. And it's mainly used by subcontractors, general contractors on new construction, remodeling projects, stuff like that. That's my first, was my first and primary business. My secondary business, I actually own a medical cannabis grow. I kind of got started through that, just kind of a long story, but basically we're involved in it at this point, and that's both of them. So.
Okay, is there one that you prefer better out of the two?
They both have their ups and downs. The construction world is very much a dog-eat-dog world. It's very much price-driven. Price can be a very tricky thing. It's because there's labor involved, there's projects involved. That becomes kind of a even flow constantly of trying to balance all that and learn how to make money in those projects. So construction, when it's good, is really good. You learn a lot. It's very fast paced. The medical industry, period, the cannabis industry is completely different. Very laid back industry, but it has a different set of challenges, just like any business does. The challenges at that place are the devil really is in the details there, and it can, and a microscopic input can make a humongous exponential output sway plus or minus. And so, I don't know, to be honest with you. I enjoy them both. They're both a lot of fun.
Okay, so how did you get interested in owning a business? Did it kind of happen overnight, or was it a gradual process?
So I always felt like I was just a salesman at heart. You know what I mean? I can think back even to my days of whenever I was in high school. I was constantly buying and selling things. I liked the deal. I like making deals. I like people. I would say that very early on, I did think that I wanted to own my own business. When you're young, you think that you want to own your own business because of things like financial gain. You think, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money, which can be true. But the older you get, you realize that there's a lot of freedom in owning your own business. I did think early on that I wanted to own my own business. As a young man, you think you're ready for something like that. I probably can honestly say that I was not. But by the time that I had the opportunity for ownership, and it was the opportunity was given to me, I seized it, and I would never have it any other way at this point.
Okay. So I'm gonna hit you with a very vague question. How would you go about starting a business?
I would encourage people to kind of follow their passion, follow their happiness. That's where I would start. Figure out who you are. As far as your strengths and your weaknesses. Not owning a business is not for everyone. I hate to say that, but it really isn't. It can be very taxing. It can be very stressful. Not everybody has the proper skill set to own a business. Just because, I would say this, just because you're a good salesman wouldn't necessarily make you a good manager, wouldn't necessarily make you a good business owner. Just because you might be extremely smart with computers or IT or insert almost any tech savvy job doesn't necessarily mean that you would be good at owning a business. Good at owning a business or going about starting a business is more about being able to wear multiple hats, right? Balance those hats and do them all well. So my suggestion to people that think that they want to start a business is find something that they're very passionate about in the beginning. Chase that passion. See if you can turn that passion into a business. But then very much secondarily, I would say that once you figure out what you want to do, build yourself a roadmap of exactly what you want to, like to a T, like, hey, here's my 1, 3, 5 year goals. You know what I mean? Write yourself a business plan, really submerge yourself into it. And then the number one thing I would honestly have to say if somebody was going to start a business, I guess, is just don't be scared, right? Don't be scared. A lot of people don't make the jump to own their own business based off the fact that they're afraid to bet on themselves. Does that make sense, right?
Yeah.
Working for a company gives you security. You think it gives you security because most people don't automatically assume that the company that they're going to go working for goes out of business.
Right.
But so they find security in that, but there's also a lot of security in betting on yourself. You know what I mean?
Right. So to branch off, would starting a business or maintaining it, which one would you classify as harder, or is it kind of specific?
Ooh, it can be very specific. I would say, starting a business, there's multiple ways to do this. Me and you have kind of discussed this before some with the gyms and like, would you want to start your own gym? Would you want to start a franchise? There's benefits to both. I took over a business that was technically already in existence with Freedom Scaffold, my construction business, the scaffold business. And it was, we went from doing, $20,000 in revenue a month in scaffolding business alone. That business, they were actually losing money whenever I first joined the team over there to, now we're a $8 to $10 million a year company. And so would I say that process was easy? Absolutely not. One of the biggest problems with an existing business is how do you find the ways to grow, not just monetarily from a cash flow perspective, but how do you find the ways to grow? How do you find the ways to get bigger in your market and be able to scale that, right? So that you can be as successful as you are on a small scale to a big scale. So starting a business can be very rewarding in that you can see a lot of growth early on, right? You go from nothing to something, but eventually you hit the same wall that you do whenever you take over a business. I've done both. I would say they're both really fun. I would say if you have the opportunity to purchase a business that you think has a lot of potential for growth, that would be what I would prefer. I actually would love one of these days to become a small business advisor and help other small businesses grow their business and become bigger and help them with things that give them the skills that typically only large scale businesses have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that they can grow on the scale that they want to.
So what were the biggest challenges you faced with owning a business? Is there anything you would do differently?
So again, all my opinion, but I would say that one of the biggest challenges all small businesses face is money. Period, hands down, end of story. It's money, it's cash flow. Getting the capital to start the business can be extremely difficult, right? Managing that capital after you start the business is just as difficult. And then a lot of people don't realize there's businesses that make sales that have a lot of sales. They have very successful sales, but you know what? They don't have the cash flow. And what I mean by that is they're not able to fund their own growth. They might be able to sell lots of an item, a service or anything, but they may not be able to fund that sale, if that makes sense. And then the second thing too is as that money comes in, if it doesn't come in fast enough, then that can really cripple you as well. So capital, period, whether you're talking about starting the business in the very beginning, whether you're talking about maintaining the business, or whether you're talking about growing the business, is where people fail, in my opinion, horribly bad. And they want to pull money out too soon. They want to grow too fast. Lots of things, but undercapitalization is what can really kill a small business.
So what would you say you like the most about your work?
I like the hustle. I'm like I said, starting at a very young age, I was very much a grinder, just a hustler. I mean, I like people, I like to talk. And so I would say that I enjoy the hustle the most, but it's also something that can be the most taxing on me. I mean, you see, sometimes it means long hours. I'm on the phone, all hours of the day, and sometimes the night whenever I have a day off. It's not really a day off. So I enjoy that hustle, but sometimes, like I said, it can be taxing, but I would definitely say that's the thing I like the most. I like just getting out there, getting with my people, grinding it out, setting goals, not just accomplishing those goals, but just owning those goals, blowing them up, setting the next goal. And I would say secondarily, something I really enjoy is people, period. I enjoy helping people reach their own level of success. Everybody's definition of success is different, not only from a positional or title standpoint, but from a monetary standpoint. And so I really like taking people, maybe a guy that thought he would just be a forklift driver for the rest of his life, making 12 or 15 bucks an hour, and turning him into a salesman that makes six figures, or vice versa. Somebody that just answered the phone in the beginning that was just a secretary, but now she's an administrative assistant that makes $60,000 a year. I mean, I love seeing people. I love growing people within my business. I think that's a lot of fun. But that's part of the hustle, to me. Personal growth, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So what skills, abilities, and personal attributes are essential to succeeding in owning or starting a business, in your opinion?
So I think, to me, the number one most understated quality for all people, whether you're starting, purchasing, however you want to look into it, buying into business, is the hard work aspect. I think so many people, it's the old the poster that you see on the wall where it says boss, and he's pointing the finger at the people, you know what I'm saying, and that's how he's leading. And then right below that, it shows the picture of the leader, and he's leading the line of people. You see what I'm saying? And so I think that's where people mess up, is they think that I love Craig Rochelle, his leadership podcast. I absolutely love him, and he says leadership is not it is not a reason to do less, right? It's not something. It's not a title that you get so that you can do less. It's an absolute responsibility to do more, And so that's where people mess up, is they think that I'm the boss, I'm the manager, I finally made it, now I can rest. For truly good, truly exceptional leaders, truly exceptional small business, medium and large size business owners, right? I hate to say it, but the Bill Gates, you know what I mean? The Donald Trumps of the world, right? Those guys you ask anybody about those guys. They're some of the hardest workers out there, period. And I think that's one of the virtues that people think automatically, I'm gonna own my own business, I'm gonna be able to, I'm gonna work hard for a little bit, I'm gonna start it, and then I'm gonna get to kick up my feet and I'm gonna get to coast. And in my opinion, that is where people fall, that's where they fail, that's where they really, it's just not a good thing. And so, like I said, for me, hard work is number one, but I would say certainly number two is being a good leader. Hard work is number one for me. Number two, that attribute is being a good leader as a small business owner. Not all people that own a business have to lead other people. Some people may own a business that, there's only three or four employees, or one or two employees, or whatever that is. But leadership is such a vital part of how a business is ran. What it does is it sets your whole culture. How you are as a leader sets your culture and sets the stage for your whole business. If you're a domineering or a fear-mongering leader, then you have people that are gun shy, and you have people that are afraid to bring ideas to you. You have people that are afraid to talk to you. If you were a happy, welcoming, warming leader, that warrants a different response from your people. So in my opinion, a great attribute that's constantly overlooked is just the overall leadership skill and how you lead your people on a daily basis.
Last but not least, how has owning a business and entrepreneuring changed your life?
I've been very blessed. Monetarily, I would say, as a young man, I look back and I think, how much money, that's what you think, right? How much money can I make one day? How much money am I going to make one day? That's a lot of the questions I used to ask myself. And so certainly I would say I've been very blessed from a monetary standpoint. My businesses have blessed me for financial freedom and for, they've set the stage for my family financially. They've set the stage, I'm hoping, for my kids financially, possibly my grandkids financially. And so that's a humongous blessing. That's something that my businesses have given me. And then the other thing is, they've also given a very unique ability being your own boss is something that is just a lot of fun. It really, really is. It's a lot of fun. I don't have to answer to too many people. I have a business partner. Luckily, I'm very blessed there too. He's a really smart guy. He's a really awesome guy. He works just as hard as I do. But I really don't have to answer anybody. Maybe the bank every now and then, you know what I mean? I got to answer to them if I owe them money. But other than that, I get to make decisions. Now, this is a great thing. It's super fun, but it's also going to be super nerve-wracking. I get to make decisions that can possibly positively affect hundreds of people. right? Because between both my businesses, we're over, getting close to 100 employees, 100 plus employees now. You know what I mean? I'm hoping the next 2 to 3 years, I've got several hundred employees. I get to make decisions that, if they're made well, can positively affect a lot of people. And that's just an amazing thing, to be able to bless all those people and to be able to positively affect those people, not only from my mentoring and my leadership skills, not only from a monetary standpoint, but just an overall quality of life standpoint as well.
That is all the questions I have. I appreciate your time, and thank you for having me, or you having me for the interview.
No problem.